Welcome to Compare Art Supplies with Bats, Cats and Broomsticks. So today we're going to compare two metallic watercolour paints. We're going to compare a cheaper palette by the brand Art Sensations, and I have here 3 of their palettes. I wanted to get a good range of their paints to have a try with. Each one of these cost around about £2, so the total I would have paid here is £6 at the very most. The palette I'm going to compare it with is the Van Gogh Pocket Metallic Watercolours, which we have here. Now this palette, however, cost me about £35. This one's by the brand Royal Talens. This is supposed to be a really high-end palette with really strong pigments, and these are supposed to be a good student dupe or similar. So we'll have a go at comparing them today. These palettes over here have colours in them that we don't have in this palette. This palette here has fewer colours than the total combined palette here. I will swatch all of this just so you can see all of them on paper and show you the difference between what you completely get for your £35 versus what you would get for your £6 here. Now obviously there are going to be differences because we don't have the complete range of colours that are here in this palette, but also there's the fact that the colours in this palette aren't a full colour. They are meant to be a shift colour, an iridescent colour. They're not intended to be a block colour like these are in our Art Sensations palette. Like the purples and blues and greens we have here are intended to be full colour, and so are actually these pastel ones. However, I found that they do behave a lot more shimmery. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I found about these two palettes and how they're different to each other. We are going to take some paper from our Daler-Rowney Aquafine textured watercolour paper, split it down the middle so that we have just a small swatching space so you can see the white, and then we are going to take the same thing out of our black Van Gogh watercolour paper, which was designed with these watercolours in mind. It's meant to bring out the iridescent colours and make them really vibrant. Later on in this video I am going to do a comparison painting on that black paper to show side by side what these colours look like in a painting. I'm going to be doing a little butterfly for that effect, and we can have a look, see what that would look like. So moving on, we will start with our shiny metallics range over here. We'll start with our gold range. Put these to the side. We'll start with the gold watercolour range. So the first thing that I notice when I open these, when I eventually do get them open, is that they're really quite large pans. So you get perceivably a lot of watercolours for your money as well. They're really very, very big pans. So let's get our papers. So we've got our black and our white paper here side by side, and what I will do is we will get a ruler and we will divide roughly at the middle here with a pencil, just roughly, so that we can put down our art sensations at the top, and the Van Gogh palette on the bottom. Now that our watercolours are completely dry, we're going to have a look and really compare the swatches. So, I feel like the Van Gogh palette really shines on the black paper. If we look at all these colours, especially looking at the difference between the purples and blues here, you can see that these colours would be really good by the Van Gogh palette to build up on, whilst the Art Sensations palette really is designed to be one block colour. It doesn't do gradient very well. And we move on to the white paper and we see that the Art Sensations outshines the Van Gogh palette because the Van Gogh palette really wasn't designed to be used on white paper. The iridescents are way better on black paper, but I imagine they would look really nice on the white paper washed over a colour. While the Art Sensations paint on the white paper, you can really see that they are very grainy and leave a lot of marks, while the Van Gogh palette is way more creamy and just layers better and creates a much smoother, softer gradient. Especially the pink, you can see it. Personally, I would always go with the Van Gogh palette if we're working on a black piece of paper. It just shines so much brighter, it layers so much better. It was really designed for black paper. But if I was doing a calligraphy or something on white paper, I would prefer the Art Sensations palette because you can really build up a colour. Moving on, I've sketched a butterfly onto this piece of black paper. This black paper is the Van Gogh paper, again, by Royal Talens. And I'm going to split this butterfly that I've sketched down the middle to show Van Gogh palette on one side and the Art Sensations palettes on the other side. In this comparison, I will only be using the colours that are most like the Van Gogh colours in the Art Sensations palette, so that it's a good comparison side by side through this butterfly. Moving on, I'm just going to masking tape this to my table so that it doesn't move around for me too much, and I will let you guys enjoy the video. Now that we have a good amount of the butterfly finished, I just wanted to add some of my notes on how I felt the paint worked. I think that you can clearly see that with the Van Gogh palette, those little flowers are much nicer, they're more delicate, and the blend between the colours work much nicer. Whilst the Art Sensations palette have a tendency to want to stay separated one side to the other, we can see that there's just that little bit more shine and vibrancy to the Van Gogh palette that we don't get in the Art Sensations palette, and you can really see how the colour can be used to create a wash or a build-up and contrast over each other, while the Art Sensations really just want to sit as one colour and don't want to blend or create a gradient very well. So that's it for our comparison video. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you will like, subscribe and follow the channel for more videos like this and videos where I just paint. And in the next video coming up, I'll be using the Van Gogh palette to do a painting, and we'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching. Till next time.